What you're seeing is all been redone. I should say I actually took everything apart on this car. I disassembled everything and put it back together, made it new if it wasn't new, and this is the final result. Hello, and thanks for slipping some time with me today. In today's episode, we're gonna get to some DSMs. Now, these are the first generation that are behind me, but I think it's time to do some second generation. You've seen me do a lot of the first generation stuff. That's gonna continue on. In my last episode, I did actually something on a second generation. Tons of Lotus stuff, and I've done some other stuff as well, and some other cars, my Comet GT and my Ranger, etc. But let's get some more second generation stuff of the Eagle Talon DSM stuff. So before I get started, I gotta move some cars. So that's the next thing, I gotta move some cars to get the second generations in here. So we're gonna start with that. Let's get going. So let's talk about this white Mitsubishi GSX. It actually has 99,000 miles on it, so it's pretty low mileage. It's had some life. It's got a 6-bolt swap in it, and it needs some paint correction, which I am going to do. It looks like there might have been some replacement here. I can see some red coming on this panel here, so I want to take that out and paint that properly. And we'll show you some of the stuff that I've done already. And I got some kind of before pictures, not a lot, but also what it looks like now. And we'll keep going through that. So as you can see underneath, it's all cleaned up. I should say I actually took everything apart on this car. I disassembled everything and put it back together, made it new if it wasn't new. And this is the final result. And you can see that. I only went so far in the back here. You can see where the line stops. That's cleaned up, prepped in PR15. And I'd like to continue on to the back side and finish that up. Obviously it doesn't look the same, but we're gonna take care of that. Still completely functional and fine, but something doesn't match, does it? All right, so I disassembled the whole front of this thing. I disassembled the engine bay. I actually repainted the engine bay as well because it just needed a little bit of fresh up. You can see some of the stuff that I've done here and how nice things look now. And just go around the car before I go into the engine bay. I'm going to put some different wheels on. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. This corner piece is over here, and I got to polish it yet, but I already repainted it, and that's just dirt. I got to clean this up, but yeah, put that on. And like I said earlier, you can see here a little closer here where there's red coming through, so this has been replaced. You can see it needs to be restuck on, so I'm going to take that off and repaint it. Other than that, the exterior, I'm going to do some paint correction, but it looks pretty good. The front bumper cover is right here, and it's a little dirty, but it'll probably clean up pretty good. I could repaint it. It's got a couple little, stone clips on it and that. And in my province where I am, I don't need to have a front license plate, so I could fill these as well, and that would just make it look nice. Got a little bit of a scuff there. Overall, it's not bad. It's got a little kind of sun cracking on the paint a little bit, but it may buff out. But I think that's more on the rear, which is kind of the same thing, but you can see, I'll show you here. If you look really close there, you can see how it's kind of cracking here a bit on the paint. Yeah, it's got the swirls, so this is going to need probably redone. It could clean up, and it's white, it doesn't show up too well, but I don't like that, so we need to clean that up. Sticker's bad, so I either can replace that or just take it off completely, and that'd be fine too. I'm not too worried about having GSX on it. I might, we'll see. Interior's in fair shape. Before I get to that, this is popular to break, as you know, and has been replaced, so that needs to be painted white. It should be black, so that's just from whatever was purchased, and we'll fix that up. Now let's look inside, and it's not in horrible shape. It's got a couple things. Obviously, like I said, it's got a 6-bolt swap. It's got a 3-inch exhaust now. It's got a front mount intercooler, boost controller, O2 sensor, a few things like that. Because it's only got 100,000 miles on it, or not even, it actually is pretty good shape here. Seats, that seat is a little bit worn, but it's to be expected. It's Mitsubishi leather. I'm going to probably clean that up a bit anyway. I got some parts back there that I can go through that I need to work on and replace. You can see the heat shield for the hood, brand new, by the way, that one. There's the old one. I got the splash shields kind of for the fenders there that are new. I'm gonna put that in. So overall, it's a pretty good shape, this one. Now let's get to the hood, under the hood. It's got the slotted and drilled out rotors, I guess we'll call it. And yeah, I think it's been a while since I put this together, but I think it's still got stock suspension, but let's have a look at that. Yeah, I think it's still stock suspension on here. We don't have any adjustments, as you can see. So let's go to what things look like under here. Oh, what you're seeing is all been redone. I did some ceramic coating on a few things, like this guy, John intake pipe. Yeah, everything was cleaned up. There was never any rust in this to repair, on the strut towers including, but I did paint I did do a repaint. There was some battery acid spill over here that I wanted to repaint, and this one thing led to another, so I repainted it. Plus there was oil all over and I had to clean it up too. You can see that this is in really good shape because I replaced it. I had one made up and replaced it, and just did a few things. Now this cover, in case you're wondering why it looks so nice, this is a brand new Eagle Talon valve cover. I bought a number of years ago when they still existed to buy, And I ended up buying probably the last two that are even around, that were around. And yeah, so that's a brand new cover. This this carbon fiber spark plug cover, I thought really looked nice and set this off. And yeah, it runs really well. Again, it's I'm not sure the history on it, why it's got a 6-bolt swap from a 7-bolt, considering it only had 99,000 miles. But either way, it runs fine, and I kind of like to have the 6-bolt in it. Anyway, I guess I would actually wouldn't mind having the 7-bolt in it, because this is a 1998, so those 7 bolts are actually better with rod bearings they used, etc. So it has a split bearing, split thrust bearing, split bearing on it, and but I don't know what happened. Maybe it blew up for whatever reason they were doing. I did a couple things here, like did my famous little dipstick so it doesn't blow out on here, my little linchpin here, and it works fine as usual. It's the little setup because I didn't and this time I didn't actually weld 2 pieces on here like I've done with these other ones that I showed in other videos, but that works just as well the way it is, and it can't move, and that just slides out like that. I haven't turned the boost up on it too much yet. I got to play with that. I have a boost controller obviously right here. I'm running ECM Link on this. It's still got the factory math on it. It's got a lot of the factory gold plated bolts that you see on them. Put that in to make it look better because they were a little tarnished just from weathering, I'll call it. Little things like putting that little plug back on the alternator, the red cover that's usually missing or wrecked or snagged or whatever. So got that. So yeah, pretty happy with the way it's turned out, just because it's such a young car as far as mileage goes. So I got a few things to do. I think I'm going to start by, taking these things off here and repainting them, and maybe the door handle as well. And then I've got to do a paint correction, which I'm going to do outside when the weather actually gets better. And I can get to the interior and finish that up. There's definitely some things I want to clean up on the interior. You can see there's some issues there where the buttons, well, they're kind of broke out of there, so I got to take this door panel off and fix that, but that won't be too bad. So let's get going on that. Well, we got all that off for painting now. I'll get this done in the next couple of weeks. Also to come, I'm going to take the rear stuff off underneath there that you've seen earlier and rejuvenate, restore, redo that so it looks nice just like the front does. So we've got a few things to do. I think I said the interior of the seat and that as well. Well, that's going to wrap up, I think, this episode. Got a number of things to do in this one. You can tell from previous episodes I got a lot of things going on the go here. And if you want to see how that continues, or you like this sort of thing, please like, share, and subscribe. And of course, enjoy every day, and always make it right.